So the Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi finally visited India after 3 years. Kind of like that expat cousin of yours who you parted with in bad terms at the last family wedding comes visiting again. Both sides agreed to resume exchanges and dialogues at all levels, which sounds very fancy but really just means, okay, fine, we'll talk again. India's Foreign Minister S. Jaishankar meanwhile said that what India and China need to do was have talks that are, quote, candid and constructive, which in diplomat speak means we don't throw chairs, but we also don't hug it out. This is Quick Take, your quick guide. I'm Smita Prakash. History, the trust problem. Of course, India and China have what we might politely call history. There is Galwan 2020, that clash that left soldiers dead, froze relations, and triggered the kind of icy standoff usually reserved for couples fighting in a grocery store. Since then, both sides have stacked tens of thousands of troops along the border, which is never a sign that two neighbors are feeling warm towards each other. Then there's Operation Sindoor in May 2025, and India saw China actively assisting Pakistan. Enter Donald Trump. Trump 2.0 has massive shakeups in bilateral and multilateral relations around the world. Whether that outlasts the Trump era or not is something one has to wait and watch. But coming back to what we were talking about, well, Donald Trump slapped India with 50% tariffs, and that has got New Delhi to recalibrate its external affairs. A pivot is certainly visible, looking east. And apparently, some in the corridors of power in Delhi are thinking, you know what might be better than an unpredictable US president? China. Which, to be fair, is like saying my current roommate keeps setting fire to the kitchen, so I'll move in with a guy who occasionally causes a pandemic. Too harsh? Meetings and promises. Foreign Minister Wang Yi met Jaishankar and Ajit Doval and even Prime Minister Modi. Promises were made. Fertilizers? Check. Rare earths? Check. Tunnel boring machines? Check. Which means you wonder what exactly is India planning? Because if this sounds less like diplomacy and more like the start of a Bond villain shopping list, that's because it kind of is. Now the problem is, China doesn't really see India as an equal partner. To be fair, the US doesn't either. So congratulations, India. You've been equally underestimated by two global superpowers. And while the two countries do have massive trade ties, they also share a long, painful history of military clashes. The list of disputes is basically a greatest hits album of international tension. Boundaries, Taiwan, the Dalai Lama, Tibet, Pakistan, Kashmir, Arunachal Pradesh, all the classics. The SCO summit angle. This is all happening just before Prime Minister Modi's trip to China for the Shanghai Cooperation Organization summit, his first visit in 7 years, which in diplomatic terms is basically, we're not back together, but let's at least meet for coffee. The larger picture. Here's the thing, countries don't actually need to be friends to do business. You don't have to like your co-worker to share a spreadsheet. China and India are both ancient civilizations. They're not looking for friendship bracelets. What they can have is a working relationship built on practicality, especially now that China knows one thing for sure. India is never going to be America's sidekick, because if there's one thing India hates, it's being told what to do. The bigger question is, can Asia's two giants walk together without stepping on each other's toes? Both need stability, both want growth, and both are painfully aware that fighting each other only makes them weaker. But, and here's the problem, trust is thinner than the dal you get at the college canteen. Troops are still on the border and competition isn't going away. Rivals yet partners. Let's face it, India's feeling quite friendless these days. Yes, we do get the we love you hugs off and on. But the cruel fact is, to make the India story tick, To get the Viksit Bharat, developed India goal reachable, we need Chinese inputs, electronics, machinery, rare earths. China needs India's market, pharma, and IT strength. It's a relationship less like Romeo and Juliet and more like two rival shopkeepers who keep stealing each other's customers but also borrow sugar when they run out. So what we are seeing isn't a spring thaw. It's more like cautiously defrosting the fridge. Both sides are saying the right things: mutual respect, mutual interest, multipolar Asia, but neither is unplugging the troops just yet, and probably never will. Because the truth is, India and China are rivals who kind of need each other. And if that feels complicated, well, that's because it is. It's not love, it's not war, it's that awkward WhatsApp group where you can't leave, but you also mute the notifications forever.